better throw her on right now, man. It's a pretty good looking spoon you got there, man.
Sir, I really don't want any trouble right now.
Yeah, and I want your spoon, man.
For those of you that want to know...
Matt is clearly in trouble. What will he choose? Fight or flight?
You ready?
Man, I should become like a boxer or something.
Now hold on there just a second, champ. The reason why you were able to get out of that situation in the first place is because your body released norepinephrine, a hormone and neurotransmitter that is responsible for the fight or flight response. Okay.
What?
Norepinephrine.
Now, when not being released as a stress hormone or neurotransmitter, norepinephrine plays a vital role in our body's ability to be attentive, sleep, and learn.
Hold on a second. Norepinephrine? Epinephrine? You know, like the stuff I stab in my leg? They sound awfully similar. What makes them different? On this whiteboard, you'll see that I drew both norepinephrine and epinephrine molecules. At first glance, they look pretty much identical. And for the most part, they are. Each one has a 6-carbon benzene ring composed in the middle, as well as this one. And each one has 3 hydroxyl groups, which is an OH, attached to 3 different carbon atoms. One of the big differences that differentiates these two is that epinephrine actually has a methyl group attached to NH right here. And basically, a methyl group is 3 hydrogens attached to a carbon atom. And that is what differentiates between norepinephrine and epinephrine structurally. Norepinephrine, also known as noradrenaline, is categorized as a catecholamine, meaning it derives from the amino acid tyrosine, which is found in the brain. It's also categorized with dopamine and epinephrine as a catecholamine.
The fight or flight response is a defense mechanism that's been around with us humans for millions of years. It's helped us prepare our bodies to either avert danger or combat danger. Norepinephrine is a chemical that is produced in the brain structure known as the locus ceruleus, which is part of the pons. Now, hormones are chemical messages secreted by hormones that direct your cells on what to do. Now, you might be asking, what are neurotransmitters? Well, neurotransmitters are the chemicals found within your central nervous system. They travel between each synaptic gap of each cell to communicate with one another.
Come on, let me show you how norepinephrine works. Now, this is how norepinephrine functions as a neurotransmitter. When a stressful event occurs, norepinephrine is released from the brain's locus coeruleus, where it then travels down the central nervous system through the spinal cord. It goes from synapse through synapse as a neurotransmitter still, and then it eventually hits postganglionic fibers of the various tissues, organs, and blood vessels. Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned how norepinephrine can function as both a neurotransmitter and a hormone. Now, let's look to see how it functions as a hormone opposed to a neurotransmitter. Now, I will explain how norepinephrine acts as a hormone in the human body. Similar to a neurotransmitter, it begins in the locus coeruleus, travels down the spinal cord through each synapse, but some of it gets stored in the body's adrenal glands, which are located above the kidneys. Once it's there, it gets secreted into the bloodstream, and it attaches itself to the various blood vessels throughout the body, such as the blood vessels in the arms or legs. Once it's on these blood vessels, it'll actually cause the blood vessels to dilate, meaning the blood vessels will get bigger, so blood flow can flow more efficiently. Now, norepinephrine can actually constrict or dilate various tissues of the body. So they can have the opposite effect on certain tissues. It all depends on which tissue we're talking about. Now, when norepinephrine acts as a hormone, it has a large variety of effects on the various different organs of the body. So when it attaches to the heart, it actually causes the blood vessels to dilate, which increases the output of blood flow throughout the entire body. When it binds to the smooth muscle of digestion, it actually inhibits digestion because it's not important for your body to digest food when it's when it has to fight something or flee. Now, when it binds to the various muscle cells, it actually causes the blood vessels to also dilate, which increases the overall efficiency of your muscles, allowing you to, fight or flee from something more efficiently. And finally, when it attaches to the lungs, it causes the alveoli to open up, which overall increases your body's respiratory rate. Now, norepinephrine actually has a lot of uses outside of just the human body. It has a lot of practical and clinical uses. For example, it's used on patients who have critically low blood pressure. Like I mentioned before, norepinephrine can actually constrict certain blood vessels in the body, and because of this, blood can exert more pressure on the blood vessels, therefore increasing the blood pressure. Patients whose norepinephrine levels have been inhibited have displayed signs of depression. And because of this, norepinephrine has recently been used as a drug in order to treat depression.
In conclusion, norepinephrine is a human hormone that provides the human body with a large range of benefits. It arouses our body during high-stress situations and allows us to perform optimally in the face of a threat. It's also used to combat depression and anxiety, and finally, it can treat patients with critically low blood pressure. Without it, you might not be here today.